48-hour art check, round 177.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. I think if we were ever going to quit this, it would have happened sometime in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, fair point. So, yeah, I mean, we were talking before going live, and if you guys watched the last one, we were talking about slumps. We're both in slumps. I'm in a bit of a slump now. That's a little worse than the slump before. And so it's interesting because it's like here we are doing the art check. So that's encouraging, actually. So, yeah, we might be a little brief with the art check, but we're still going to continue and make the art and do the positive stuff, hopefully.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, let's do it. Do you want to start?
Yeah.
What have you gotten done in the last 48 hours?
I have gotten this done, and then tonight I'm going to scan it and place it for your reading enjoyment on quarterlystories.com. So I finished the page, which is kind of cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, pretty stoked on that. But I'm still not quite where I wanted to be because I was hoping to have it at least scanned tonight. But, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Progress at this point. Any progress is a win. So
very good point. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. For me, I was able to get a little bit done last night. I'm working on getting some assets sketched out and approved by a client, and so that I got one more of those characters designed and sketched out, and a couple of the scenes or rooms, the environments that they're in. Not a ton of work. At work, I've been putting in a little bit of extra time, and so teaching, I don't normally produce much at work, but we're having a big thing where we're having a bunch of high school students visit campus, and so we're going to try to convince them to join our department when they become freshmen. And so I kind of asked if I could kind of do the swag. And so I put together the last couple of weeks, I've been putting together this thing, and I've been trying to give students the opportunity to kind of step up and design some stuff. But inherently that means that I ended up doing more work than just doing it myself. So and I did end up doing a lot of it myself, but I mean, I've designed while I've been teaching and grading and being on committees and everything, 8 stickers, 6 pin designs, 12-page explanatory booklet of the department and the different emphases and societies and organizations. And then the packaging for that, like the header card and stuff. And some students helped, but we got a lot of it printed. And so it was fun to see some of that come together today.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So anyway, that's been somewhat taxing.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be, because I like that stuff, but it's I don't know. It just reminded me of, I forget how much, and I don't know if this is just my bad luck or generally speaking, but I forget how much of graphic design is like running around the building trying to hunt down what you need, just getting other people to do basic things like, I need you to write a sentence about this thing, or
the struggle of trying to find like body copy and basic information, like what size would you like this to be?
Yeah, I forgot.
Be full color or one color? Like, just basic information is one of the most frustrating things to get as a graphic designer.
Like so I'm walking from office to office with just a stack of papers, and this is what I used to do. I used to do this. I would get things done because I refuse to not get things done. So I will sit in people's offices and watch them do it. If I'll give them an opportunity to do it, And then if they ignore that or don't get to me in a reasonable amount of time, I will go sit in your office. And so I did that all day today and yesterday. And I just sat in people's offices. I went to one colleague, awesome person, love this person, really, really proficient and experienced and talented. But I said, hey, would you look this over? Edit whatever you want to edit. I mean, I wrote everything for everybody in the beginning anyway. And then I had some students kind of rewrite stuff and get some copywriting experience. Anyway, so I took the stuff that the students had done to people, and they said, yeah, can I get this to you by Thursday? And I said, no, it's 3 sentences. You can look at it right now. I'll wait. It's like, why would you need 2.5 days? I need it right now. I can get it right now. You can not look at it and just give me approval. I don't care. But I need it now. I'm literally walking from office to office.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you 2.5 days to read a paragraph and tell me if it's something that you want or not.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that's been.
Oh, you got it. It's good.
Got it done. Yep. Got it printed. You know how we talk about false deadlines? I actually thought it was Thursday. I think originally I knew it was Friday. And I think I gave myself the false deadline of Thursday, but then everything has been so crazy at home and at work and everything that I was actually convinced that it was tomorrow. And so I'm done, actually done a full day early. So
that to me is a really strong message of the strength of the fake deadline, because
right.
I use that tool all the time. So
yeah, it's great. Cool. So sorry, I'm really tired and I don't know. It doesn't make any sense for me to be tired. I'm going to bed on time. I'm getting up on time. I'm just exhausted. So 2:00 and 10:00, I'm toast. So I'll try not to ramble as much. Anyway, what were your challenges?
Most I can't talk about. But it was a challenging day, and it's been a challenging month. And it seems like, and this is where I really have to catch myself, but it does seem like one of those scenarios where if I kind of list the objectives that I had to accomplish, and then I listed a short list of everything that could possibly that could possibly go wrong, I'd just be checking off all the things.
Yeah.
So that's been interesting.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I guess to me, the thing I'm going to try to do with that difficulty is try to turn it into something positive, because I do have a tendency with my personality sometimes to not. Mm-hmm. And so I would like to actually kind of reroute some of that to all right, well, I'm just going to take that and make myself better. Because that's really the most productive thing, especially when you're, at least for me, it's I feel like I'm in a couple of scenarios where there's really not much within my power to do. And so in those cases, I feel like, well, what is in my power to do? And that's basically just me stuff.
Yeah.
So I just got to focus on that and trying to be patient and a good dad and stuff, that's pretty much the best I can do. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. That's kind of my thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I spent 90 minutes on Monday going through challenges. And I know it's vague and it would be frustrating as a viewer because I'm not saying anything specific, but that stuff continues, and then just a little bit more stuff is added to it. But it's pretty good. I mean, I'm actually pretty I think I'm back on a good track. It's just, it's uphill. I had derailed basically. And so, we kind of talk about slumps
Yeah.
and peaks or whatever. And I had just kind of gotten off the train there for a while, but yeah, so I'm back. It's just an uphill battle, but I'll get some work done tonight. I didn't get down to my studio until about 9:30 p.m. And so, I didn't get home until about 9. Well, I guess 8, but then stuff. So yeah. Anyway, yeah,
when you were saying, but things are fine, I was like, I was thinking of that panel online of the dog where he's just saying, "This is fine," and like,
this is fine.
Fire.
I mean, honestly, like, I love my job. My family's awesome. Things are going really well. There's a lot of really good stuff happening. There just happens to be like several super challenging things, but I mean, very blessed. There's a lot of good stuff going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be good. It'll be fine. And whatnot. But yeah, I mean, just a few things, like it's starting to be that change in season where, I'm like, I have days left to ride my motorcycle to work because it's like sub-freezing temperatures half the day now. And I don't mind riding in the cold, but like at a certain temperature, like your battery just dies and your bike won't start.
Yeah.
Like it's, it'll get below 0 in a month or two. And, as soon as there's like ice on the roads, like I can't take my 2-wheel vehicle out. And the only other vehicle I have access to is dead and it won't start. So that just means walking, which also isn't that big of a deal because I'm not that far, but I just hate walking to work when it's like windy and 5 degrees outside. So there's some of that stuff that I always get a little, I don't think I have seasonal depression, but I do get sad when the sun starts going down a little bit. And I'm like, oh, I forgot. Like it's going to be
science to that too. That goes beyond like seasonal. Cause I think, UV light I know for me, it's definitely a scenario where I didn't even realize it till not living in Oregon. And then I was like, oh, like, it's like, oh yeah, I guess every day doesn't feel like a drag. It's just the sun.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, sorry, once again, rambling, but yeah, so just some challenges, but mainly things are good. I'm doing things about all the things I can control, and most of my problems are outside of my control. So,
yep.
So that's that.
Fun. All right, so let's get into plans. So, I guess I'll start with my plan is to probably thumbnail the next and hopefully last page, unless while I'm thumbnailing it, I'm like realizing it needs to be even longer, but I'm guessing it probably won't because it's a pretty short area of text. So that's kind of what I'd like. And I'd like to have this page scanned and up on my site. So I figure, well, I mean, yeah, because we won't really do this till Monday. So by then I can definitely say this will be scanned, pieced together. At minimum, I'll have the thumbnails. So
cool.
I'd actually like to think that I'll have the rough panels and type and stuff worked out as well.
Good.
Oh, and then revisions for a client that came in. So fun stuff.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For me, a lot depends on what happens outside of my control. I've got a few bids out there that I was asked to bid on. And so those could start at any point. Kind of some cool stuff where I would be doing these big kind of 40 by 30 illustrations for a theater. that's doing, I mean, just super inventive things. There's like, dinner theater and stuff. So I'd get to work with some licensed characters, which is always fun.
Oh, cool.
And then animate those posters for some of the advertisements and stuff that they're doing. So it'd be kind of like depending on what they go for. So anyway, so that could strike at any moment. And then I've got this other client thing that I will continue to progress on. And I still haven't really nailed down like what I want to work on personally. But right now I'm just focusing on trying to get better at drawing people. And so that's a little bit what I have been doing and will continue to do, is just some life study and some head drawing and things like that, because I'm pretty weak in that area. So that's I want to get a little bit more natural with it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at. As far as plans go, I plan to not let a day go by between today and Saturday without getting about 90 minutes in a day of some sort of non-work related thing. So
I like that plan.
Yeah, that's as far as I can get right now, I think.
Yeah.
So
that actually sounds good. Cause yeah, I think that would work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, I actually considered today, I was like, I should take a bath. I haven't thought about taking a bath in like years. I shower and I didn't need to shower. I just felt like, there's an excuse to just like lay down and not doing anything for a long period of time. So, I mean, I'm in that mode where it's like, I can commit to doing something and that will be an achievement.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And actually, I don't think that's a bad idea either. Kind of to call back to stuff you've talked about, but the idea of kind of having a moment of kind of boredom,
right?
Just like sitting in a bath. What you should do if you do that or something like that is also try to make it non-screen time, so you get some processing going, like brain wise,
Right. Yeah.
And I think that'll start invigorating a lot of stuff. Because otherwise you might just de-stress, but actually stress more,
Right.
So I think that's good.
Yeah, it's a weird thought. I don't know. I was thinking it was some sort of procrastination, but now that you mentioned that, maybe it was my brain being like, "Hey, I need to decompress somehow." So yeah, that's maybe I'll.
Yeah, I mean,
add several hours to the 24 hours that I've got and see what I can do. Just
be interesting. Yeah, if we could add time, that'd be a pretty cool magic trick to be able to pull off.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think that's pretty much it for the art check. I am guessing that by next week you will have something.
I will. I mean, I've got a little bit now. But I mean, it's hard. I'm under NDA on most of the stuff that I've made progress on. I have been updating my website and things, but I mean, I don't have anything I can visibly show. So.
And I think the thing you're talking about is that the same thing? The same animation? Because that's complex.
Yes. And it got more complex in a recent revision. Because before it was kind of Plimpton style machines, like kind of a sketchy pencil machines, which would be complicated, but not as complicated as it has gotten, because now the client has switched from machines to people, and people are just harder for me to draw and more difficult to animate in general.
A lot harder to rig too.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think animation programs naturally move fairly mechanically.
Yeah.
And there's tricks to try to get them to work more organically, but they naturally just move like machines do.
Yeah.
So anyway, it just amped up the difficulty pretty significantly. I mean, to the point where that hit at the same time as all of the other stuff, and it was, my brain was just like, I can't handle it. so I didn't do anything for a little bit, and yeah. So anyway, yeah, I don't know if I've talked about this, but I went to a friend of mine's husband's funeral. It was incredible. I mean, the guy, he's much older than I am. Not significantly though, maybe 10 or 15 years. And he taught, and she's a good friend of mine. She was a student of mine. And it was amazing. And it was just kind of one of those things where it was just like, there's a good guy who, lived his faith and served people, and he was a musician. He taught percussion, and just created amazing things, and just got really good at like teaching people how to learn like music theory and stuff. It was, I think I forgot to mention it on here, but I don't know why it's coming up now, but it was like really inspiring to be like, and one of the things is, one of his good friends was doing one of the eulogies. I don't know if there's different types of eulogies, but there are 3 in this one. And he was mentioning that this guy often felt really guilty and was really hard on himself about not doing enough, not being enough, and that type of thing. And it was just really interesting to see the impact that he had. I mean, there were a bunch of students there, and alumni, and coworkers. I mean, it was kind of like a who's who of music within a couple 100 miles of here. And yet to hear that he also was hard on himself after having a positively affected so many people's, I mean, hundreds of people's lives,
Yeah.
In incredible ways. Just kind of interesting. Just put a lot in perspective. But yeah, also hard to see, your friend go through that.
Yeah. It's
So
difficult.
But anyway, sorry, this is what happens when I'm tired, as I tell unrelated random stories. So we should.
That actually feels related.
Yeah.
It's cool. I think that's fascinating too, because I think often I just don't think people ever really objectively see their own impact ever.
Right. Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's the whole conundrum, especially with like imposter syndrome and all of the inevitable things that are going to happen. Like, the more you kind of do, I think that might actually be a good thought. I don't mean that in a negative way. I think that actually is a pretty positive thought. So, yeah, let's do it.
All right. So
cool.
If you want to look at Josh's stuff, go to Josh's website, which is on the screen now. If you want to look at my stuff, go to my website, which is on the screen now. And we'll be back, and hopefully on the upward hill, or at a peak of some point.
Or it will just be plunged lower, and it'll be the most depressing 48-hour check ever.
Setting new records with new lows.
But I'm glad we're sticking with it, and I'm glad you're continuing to produce art. And I think that's the battle. So,
yeah. I don't know if I sound as lack of energy as I think I do, but if I do, sorry for putting everybody to sleep. I feel like I'm speaking at like half speed. Like if you slow a YouTube video down, like you're trying to figure out like the tutorials, and you slow them down, it sounds like Barry White trying to teach you After Effects or something.
Hey man, I think people are gonna like Barry White, Corey.
Right.
Honestly, I think it's way better than the reverse. Like, were you to speed up, that would be a little
right.
That would be a tough listen.
Yep. Anyway, so yeah, you guys rock. Go make cool stuff, and we'll catch you on Monday.
Yeah.